Burton. He hosted Reading Rainbow on PBS for 21 seasons. It's nice to see you this morning. Thanks for talking with us. You know, the CEO of PBS, Paula Carter said that she nearly fell off the couch while she was watching the debate, and she heard that particular part of the debate. What was your reaction? Did you have the same reaction?
I was outraged. I couldn't believe the man actually fixed his mouth to say that. I interpreted it as an attack on children, Soledad. An attack on children. It's an attack on children who come from a disenfranchised background. PBS is the nation's largest classroom. It guarantees equal access to the wonderfulness that PBS has provided for almost 50 years in this country. And to callously, blatantly say that it's on the agenda to cut is just, it's not okay. Because, look, clearly this candidate, and I don't believe that Mitt Romney is a bad guy, but I do believe that he believes what he said the other night. And I believe that his comment about the 47% is actually what he believes.
So let me ask you a question, because Mitt Romney would say, and if you listen to the last part of that chunk, he said, I'm not going to keep spending money to borrow money to pay for it. And, you know, when I spoke to Sherry Weston before the debate, she said that sometimes people confuse funding for PBS and Sesame Street itself. I'll play a little bit of what she told me the other day.
Okay.
The Sesame Workshop receives very, very little funding from PBS. So we are able to raise our funding through philanthropic, through our licensed product, which goes back into the educational programming, through corporate underwriting and sponsorship. So quite frankly, you can debate whether or not there should be funding of public broadcasting, but when they always sort of tout out Big Bird and say we're going to kill Big Bird, or that actually is misleading, because Sesame Street will be here.
Big Bird lives no matter what.
Big Bird lives on.
So what is the argument for funding public broadcasting? One argument I would think would be that it's such a tiny percentage of the federal budget that even conversations about cutting it doesn't really save you money and bring money back into the budget. But why do you think, in your mind, that PBS should not be, on the cutting floor or whatever, cutting table, whatever the phrase is?
Again, it goes back for me to the issue of access. It is free, and it's a commercial-free environment, and it is universally accessible to anyone with a television, which is everyone in this country. And if you can't afford cable, if you can't afford premium content, you can rely on the public broadcasting service. Is PBS perfect? No. Have they provided, through their children's programming for almost 50 years, some of the finest educational content worldwide for our nation's children? Absolutely. Does it deserve to be on the chopping block? Listen,
that's the word I was looking for. Chopping block. Thank you for helping me out.
The chopping block. Here's something I'd like to point out, Soledad. I know in this current economic climate we all have to make different choices. However, I was raised by a woman whose philosophy it was to give her children the best education she could not afford. You understand what I'm saying?
You're saying there's a value in the free.
Not only is there value in the free, we have to make the investment in our children if we expect for them to pay off on that investment through their realizing their most full potential. So there are places where you can cut, there are places where you need to cut, and there are places that you just don't cut because it's not right.
And for you, that would be PBS. LeVar Burton, of course, was a host and executive producer of Reading Rainbow. It's nice to see you. Thank you for talking with us this morning.